Well, I could have easily titled this video Shocking 2.0. I needed to find a different title for this one, just as the Sens found a different way to have a shocking victory last night. And as we know, the Sens had a historic night in Toronto, coming back from a 4-goal deficit for the first time in their history. But things would not start off well for the Sens, obviously, for them to get themselves in that position to make the historic comeback. At 6:32 into the first period, Austin Matthews would score his 12th of the season, assisted by Joe Thornton and Mitch Marner. And Austin Matthews, I mean, this guy, if he's one of, if not the greatest goal scorer in the game right now, without a doubt in my mind. I think he's surpassed Ovechkin now. Ovechkin's probably past his prime. But even though Ovechkin scored more goals than Austin Matthews early on in his career, he was more of that one-trick pony almost, where, you know, he'd kind of score from the tops of the circles in Ovechkin's office, so to speak. But Austin Matthews, he's a man of many offices in the offensive zone, because this guy, he scores from anywhere inside that blue line. He's just got such a lethal shot. He's so potent with his release. I don't think that's debatable, and he really showed it again last night. 10:29 into the first period, the Sens would make a guy who doesn't score a lot and who doesn't even play that much look like one of the greatest goal scorers in the game, as Travis Boyd would score his second of the season, assisted by Jason Spezza and Zach Bogosian on a 2-on-1 play. I would have liked to see Anisimov have more effort on that, on the comeback there, skating back to break up that 2-on-1 play. And I kind of would have liked to see Hogberg have that one too, but it wasn't as egregious of a goal as some of those ones he let in against Edmonton last week. Nonetheless, it's 2-0 Leafs. Drake Batherson, 12:40 into the first, would make it 2-1, as he would score his second of the season, assisted by Tim Stützle. Really nice pass by Stützle to Batherson. Batherson with a nice backhander finds a crack between Frederik Andersen and the post. It's 2-1, and Batherson's off the schneid, and things are looking good for the Sens at this point. Then 1:49 into the second period, Pierre Engvall would score his first of the season, assisted by Kerfoot and Brody. Another odd man rush for Toronto. Ill-advised pinch by the Sens. Nothing Hogberg could have done on this play. Pierre Engvall scores. He's a good player for the Leafs. I don't think people talk enough about him, his size, his speed. I think he's got a little more skill than people give him credit for as well. And then 9:51 into the second, the Sens give the Leafs an absolute gift, and Mike Riley, who is under no duress on this play, throws the puck up the middle right into Austin Matthews' shin pads. Now, I just want to say this. You don't want to turn the puck over against anyone on any team, but especially not against the Matthews line with how hot they've been. And Mike Riley, coaches always talk about, you got to know who you're out there against. Well, I don't know that he knew who he was out against in this particular situation, but he makes that egregious mistake. Matthews gets it to Joe Thornton. Thornton, I mean, he scores. He makes a nice move on this play, but I don't know. Maybe I kind of would have liked to seen Hogberg have that one too, but I don't know. Again, it wasn't a super egregious goal. Thornton with a decent move, like I said. It's 4-1 Leafs, and this game is looking less than decent for the Sens at this point. And then late in this period, the Sens would find themselves in penalty trouble. It would be a 5-on-3, 59 seconds left in the second period. Austin Matthews scores again. As soon as Matthews got that puck in the slot, you just knew he was going to snipe one, and he does, surely enough. It's 5-1 Toronto. It's looking like another blowout. There was no chance for Hogberg on that goal. Things are looking really ugly. Morgan Riley and John Tavares get assists on that one. And as a Sens fan, I'm just thinking like, wow, we've been blown out so many times this season. You know, we're playing against the best team in the league with all this talent, and we're down 5-1. And the thing was, the Sens didn't have that bad of a second period. They were just making ill-advised plays. And, you know, a team like Toronto doesn't need very many chances to capitalize. And while the Leafs did play good as well in that second, I thought the Sens might have held the slight edge in play in that second period, as they had a much better period there than they did in the first. And then with 9 seconds left, this goal at the time looked like a very meaningless goal. But man, this turned out to be a huge turning point in this game, as Nick Paul would score his third of the season, shorthanded, assisted by Austin Watson. They get the puck on net. There's a rebound there for Paul, and he scores. Somehow the Sens outnumbered the Leafs in front of their net despite being short a man because they're killing the penalty. And all of a sudden, the Sens go to the second intermission down just by 3 instead of 4, and that makes a huge difference. And I don't want to say that planted a seed of doubt in the Leafs' minds, because with a team that's been winning that much, you don't think they'd be fragile. They'd have tons of confidence that they can still win this game. And I don't think the goal at that point would faze them. But I think this definitely planted a seed of confidence and belief in the Sens' minds and hearts that they could come back in this game, only being down by 3 heading into the third period. 41 seconds into the third period, Chris Tierney springs Evgeny Dadonov on the breakaway. He goes in all alone, and wait, that's not Dadonov, that's Artem Zub. He pulls Frederik Andersen out of his shorts and he scores. And just like that, the Sens are down by 2 goals. And you would expect that to be Dadonov, the other Russian, making that play. But Zub makes that play and he scores. You wouldn't expect a defensive defenseman to score on a breakaway very often, and you wouldn't expect him to use that move to score on a breakaway against one of the better goalies in the league. And all of a sudden, it's just a 2-goal deficit for Ottawa. That one's assisted by Tierney and Brown. And the Sens have themselves a chance. And then 5:52 into the third period, Connor Brown makes the comeback so realistic. He scores his 3rd of the season, assisted by Colin White and Thomas Chabot. It's a 1-goal game, and the Sens look like they have a really great chance of doing something special here. And the Sens pull the goalie with 2:01 left. Josh Norris takes a shot. Tkachuk almost looked like he kind of blocked it, but then it goes up in the air. Evgeny Dadonov bats it out of the air to tie the game up at 5. All of a sudden, it's 5-5 when the game looked like it was going to be a blowout. The Sens are right in it, and we're going to overtime before you know it. What a goal by Dadonov, and what a game for him this was. And we go to overtime, tied up at 5. And what do you got to do to score the OT winner? Well, for Evgeny Dadonov, first, you got to be in a scramble in front of your own net. Probably something he's not that used to, considering he's a goal scorer, not a defensive type of player. Then he blocks a shot from Morgan Rielly. Chabot springs him on the breakaway. He's in all alone, and he shoots and scores. And just like that, the game's over. 6-5 Ottawa in overtime. Dadonov with the OT winner, assisted by Chabot and Paul. What a game, what a comeback, what a historic comeback. It makes it even more special that they did it against a Toronto team who was first in the league at the time of them doing this comeback on the Leafs. Wow, what a game. I mean, this is something that's very special for sure for the Ottawa Senators. Just like that, when it looked like Marcus Hogberg couldn't even buy a win, now he's got back-to-back wins all of a sudden. And yeah, I know he let in 5 goals in this one, but maybe you could have blamed him on 2 out of the 5, but even those weren't that egregious. But Hogberg, much like they said about Grant Fuhr back in the day when those crazy 80s games when, you know, you'd get 5-6 goals per team, usually he would always stop the next one, and that held true for Hogberg tonight. He needed to stop the next one just to give his team a chance, obviously, and the Sens took advantage of that chance and come back and win in thrilling fashion. And for Hogberg, that's back-to-back wins for him. Again, like I've mentioned in other videos, he seems like a great guy, and I'm really happy he's able to notch a win. And I'm really happy that the Sens were able to notch a win in such a special fashion too. It's pretty cool that they do it against a rival, I guess, in Toronto. But I think it's even more cool that they do it against, like I said earlier, a Toronto team that's first in the league right now. That's something that you can mention in history. It's not like the Leafs are some garbage, bad rebuilding team. The Sens are supposed to be the garbage, bad rebuilding team, but they come back against the best team in the league, the worst team in the league, against the best team in the league, and you just didn't expect to see this happen, that's for sure. But guys, please let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on this game. And I have a confession to make. After the Leafs got up 5-1, I shut the game off, and even though I saw the Sens coming back in that third period, I didn't want to turn it back on because I just thought, they're probably going to find a way to lose anyways. And so, yeah, I'm kicking myself a little bit. I went on a big tirade to my mom about how, you know, a big rant more or less on how, you know, they need to fire the coach, this team's poorly built. And yeah, now I feel like a bit of an idiot after they came back, but I've never felt so good feeling like an idiot. Thank you, Sens, for doing that from the bottom of my heart, honestly. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Did you do the same thing I did. Were you in the same boat as me? Did you shut the game off thinking, nah, screw it, it's going to be another blowout? Because this is the first time I've shut a Sens game off that I've been watching this year, even though they had a lot of other bad games earlier on. So that's the first time I did that, and it happens to be a big Sens comeback. I mean, yeah, it hurts, but wow, what a great comeback nonetheless. So let me know all that and more down below. Please like and subscribe and share this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.